once you realize that you got your soulmate and y'all can talk about stuff, you can laugh together, and y'all understand each other, and like it's all about like
She gave me the green light. Now it's time to take flight. Let's go.
Cause I'm out the ordinary. 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 Out the ordinary.
Welcome to SOULutions, where men come out of the shadows to testify, giving tips in manhood, honor the codes of integrity, and give out real solutions for soul survival. Today, we have a man, a worksmith, a man who works with his hands, a man with integrity, a father, a gentleman, and also a scholar. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Kevin Woods.
hey, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? How you feeling today?
Man, feeling pretty good, man.
You ready to jot these gems and answer these questions?
Let's get it.
All right, here we go. What person did you meet or see that gave you the drive towards the man you are today? Who or what defined you?
I'd have to say it's a combination of a lot of people, but the focal point is my mother, and it starts with her. Like she's extremely realistic, and I lost my grandmother at like a young age, and she always instilled in me that there's nobody like mama. And I watched her hurt, like through whatever pain she went through the death of my grandmother. It was maybe it was like something that she wished that she should have said or did, like in that process. So I kind of always appreciated her like as my mother, and kind of like treated her as like, all right, if she dies tomorrow, how do I feel about the relationship with her? And like she kept me involved in sports, and like just to just to ensure that like I wasn't in the streets and nothing like that, getting involved in like gangs or none of the violent activity that was like really close to us and where I come from.
That's interesting, because tell me something like in a moment when her extreme realisticness really showed you life.
Well, I say just like in certain situations that like she'll do something that's out of that's not in like cliche, like how a normal woman would think. She thinks more of like what makes sense. Like say she'll get involved in the situation, and she'll say, all right, like I got to be realistic about, okay, what's going on in my life versus what other people would think about what I'm gonna do. I need to think about like, all right, I gotta get this handled. I can't think about what people will think of me. I gotta make sure this situation is good, you know, like, and it always comes down to business. And it seems like whatever I need, like regardless of like what the problem is, she's always there like for information, even though I don't ask for it, because I'm kind of silent. Like I'm kind of like, you know, I Phil Jackson, like with the Bulls, kind of like, I'm not calling a timeout. Like I'm gonna let them work it out. Yeah. That's kind of like how I am. I'll figure it out one way or another. But she always comes with like information that I need to hear at the right time, you know? So I guess you can call it like my mother's intuition or whatever. And she always, yeah. So she comes through with like whatever I need to hear, and it's really uncanny to like I'll be like, oh, okay, and then like that's exactly what I needed to hear to figure out. Like
I can relate. My mom does the same thing for me. It's a heck of a gem to say, I'm not calling a timeout. We're gonna work this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and a lot of people call timeouts and never get back in the game. Mm-hmm. They sub themselves out.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I like the fact that you continue to push forward. That is an amazing gem. If there's two things that you can say right now that your mother gave you that you used to this day, besides not calling the timeout, what would it be?
The main thing is she wanted me to get away from where I was, and I didn't understand it now, but she was like, you got to get out of here. Like one way, like you don't know it now, but you got to get out of here, and you're going to appreciate me later, like for like everything I've done for you. Like you'll understand. You don't understand now, but you'll understand later. And in turn, like we was it was a little rocky, like, you know, like I'm a teenager, like we have our bits. I was rebellious because I thought a certain type of way and she was strict on me. And now, like, you know, like fast forward to today, you see like Tamir Rice, he get shot because he held up a toy gun, and I understand that, like, why can't I play with guns? And then like situations like that happen, and you kind of understand that, like, she was always like looking out, and in turn, like, it wasn't like she was like, I know all, and I know all, and like, you're gonna listen to me. Like, in turn, she was like, you was really a good kid, like, when coming up, and I'm really appreciative that you didn't get into all the stuff that you could have got into, because it was right there. And it's all about, like, instead of, you know, because like back in the day, like we used to walk home like long ways, and I always went straight home. I could have made a right here on, like, say, Winchester, or like, and could have went anywhere. I always went home because, like, that's what she told me to do. So, like, she told me, go home, lock the doors, don't open the door for nobody. Like, just wait till I get home.
We come from the generation that don't open the door for nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a Southern thing and a Northern thing.
Mm-hmm.
My mother told me the same things. You're not playing with any guns, no toy guns for Christmas. But Mom, everybody had toy guns.
Exactly.
She didn't allow it. She said, no, we're not gonna put that stigma in your mind. There's so many things that happen. And as a child, I didn't understand that either. So right now, where you are, how important is it to leave where you're from to develop yourself to where you go?
It's extremely important. It's extremely, especially with the Western mentality, the way that everybody thinks. It's almost like it's like a lid. Like, you think there's a lid on the jar, but it isn't. And all you got to do is jump and see, like, oh, okay, this is over here and this is over there. You know, so you gotta open up to see, like, and that goes to like for me and my personally, like, how I feel about, I'm really, like, close to my nephews and my niece, and I'm trying to get them to, like, just, hey man, just come over here for a second, and so you can see this and you can see that. I'm not telling you to do this, or not telling, because in their minds they already got made up, hey man, I want to do this. So, like, when you become a man or a woman, like, you seem set in your ways. So, like, I'm not gonna I'll say what I gotta say, but when you feel like this is the direction you need to go, okay, I'll take another angle. Hey, like, hey man, just come over here, kick it with me, so you can so we can go do this and this and that. And then once you see, like, different people and you're around different surroundings, that opens up, like, more ideas, and you develop another way of thinking, and you be like, oh, okay, like why am I here? Like, and that's kind of if this is over here, like, what am I doing? Like, you have to, like, think about think about the reasons of where you're at versus where you could be.
Yeah, your experiences, man, give you the insight and information that you need. And for those who don't know, we're living here right now in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. This is just another part of the world. We got to see some new things. And you said Western mentality, being American, those places like that. If you were talking to strangers right now who are of the teenage years, what is something they should look forward to in terms of worldwide thinking? What can you educate them right now without being preachy, but at the same time just give them a gem to say, hey, maybe I should go investigate this?
As far as teenagers, just venture out, go somewhere that's not the U.S. Go somewhere, because don't get me, I love being American, but as there's nothing like Black American with black people with American passports outside of America, because they really, once you go outside of America, you'll see how many people, like, adapt to the culture, or you get high fives, daps from other people, and just because they see that you're, like, wrapped up in the hip hop culture, or just the R&B culture, and, like, just off of the site, they see you got tattoos or how you talk. It's an instant, like, attraction to the person that you are, and it's everywhere. And it's everywhere, yeah. And it's we're the most imitated. Yeah. So
influential. Yeah. Very influential. Yeah. I think you're absolutely right. If you were going to say to an adult now looking to expand themselves economically in their field, what would you say to someone like that?
You said as looking to expand themselves economically. I would say explore like your options outside of not only in like just education, just look at try to venture out to like successful people that do different things, like different avenues of employment, like trades, instead of just going to school just to go to school. Like just look into trade, look at other options. Yeah, look at other options to because like a lot of these certifications pay a whole lot of money just because you're certified to do something. Say like you want to be a welder or something like that. Yeah, they pay a whole lot of money to do that.
Shouts out to the
Yeah.
Shout out to the welders.
So
how early did you start goal setting? You say you took those paths, you didn't go down these streets. And so how early did you start goal setting to achieve your goals?
man, honestly, like how does the saying go? I have got to reiterate back to my mother or like my grandmother. Guess she's my angel because she's always religious, and I can say I got a praying mother or grandmother. I kind of just kind of fell into the right situations because honestly, like I got when I was 16, like I've been working since I was pretty much 14, from washing cars to working at fast food restaurants to the newspaper company to UPS. And like, man, me, like, I don't have too many high standards. I'm like, hey, man, like, I'm working at UPS making $8 an hour. I'm straight. I can do this like forever. And then, God rest his soul, one of the guys I went to school with, named Mike Reed, he was like, man, he just pulled me to the side. Like, we was at lunch. He was like, man, you can't do that, dog. He's like, man, he said, I'm going to the Air Force. So it's like, man, you got to have a plan. You got to do something. Like, but he later killed himself over, I think it was over a girl or something like that. But he didn't go to the Air Force. He was a barber. But yeah, so like off of what he said, I started, and I was actually entertaining the Army, but I said I didn't want to go into the Army. I said I would go to the Air Force. That would be the only branch I would go to. But after he told me that, but like lo and behold, that's where I ended up at.
You know, it's amazing how some people put here to save your lives, and they have different paths they go down. Right? So him giving you that information, like we're giving information today, steered you in the right direction to go to the Air Force. And now you have these goals and you're setting these things in your life. I asked you for
Today, do you have a vision board?
Yes, but honestly, man, like I need to make another one because this one was just for a class. So I kind of just like, I got to get this done. But I mean, in general, it's kind of a general vision board, and it's mainly like focused on my kids, investing, zero procrastination. I just think
I mean,
clear
that
thinking.
don't sound real general. That's some hard.
Well, is that well? I mean, it felt like I mean, it was what was on my mind, and I had to get it done. But I can do better than that. So like I just felt like I kind of threw it together. But in that's what I came up with in the midst of it.
So with that general vision board, give me your apex goal in there that you put up there, and give me one that you already achieved.
Apex goal is health, and I think to me, like I've got the juggernaut tattooed on my arm, and like if you know comics, like he's momentum based. So like once he starts going, he can't be stopped, and that's kind of how I think. Like, and it's mainly health. And I know like once I've been there before, like I've been in the best shape of my life, and it seemed like everything kind of like fell in place once once I got that done. It was, I mean, everything. And I think once I get that down, like, and it comes to like organization, like you start thinking better, and like the main thing, we all got to be here for our kids, and that's the number one objective.
I'm on the weight loss journey myself. I'm down 20 pounds. I know I got 50 more to go.
Congratulations, man.
I got 50 more to go. I'm working hard at it. I come to talking to a friend by name Gerard. He told me that it's discipline over motivation. So it's not about how you feel. It's not about what you got going on today. What does the discipline routine say? What does the discipline say? Did you write down, hey, you're going to go walk every morning? No matter what's going on, No matter if somebody's hanging out and you want to hang out too, you got to hit that spot.
You got to be in that routine.
Exactly. It's got to be, because like when you there, like, and I can reminisce, like, think about it. I think about like if I had a time machine and I would travel back, and myself then would see myself now, it would be like, man, what are you doing? You know, because like going to like working out and eating a certain type of way, it was just like brushing your teeth and washing your face. It wasn't no like, am I gonna do it today? It was just like, it's just what it was. And like you say, it is discipline. Like you just got to fight toward it. And once
muscle memory too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had to get back in that vibe, and I had to get out of that procrastination and get on that level. And once you get that situation going, once you get the ball rolling, that momentum happens. So while your momentum's happening, you're not calling any time out, you're going through, you're checking out, you're running through. What type of affirmations are you telling yourself, if any?
I know how to do this, and why are you not doing it? Every day I tell myself that, like, man, I know how to do this. Why are you not doing it? I got the ideas there. I'm just not doing it. Like, and you can't, you know what to do. Why aren't you doing it? And it's probably been going on for like 5 years. Every day I tell myself the same thing. You know what to do. Like, why aren't you doing it? And I guess that's more of a negative one, but you got to believe in yourself, man, because it's not it's not hard. Like once you just got to do it. You just got to get to it.
So talk to me about fatherhood. Now, I want to talk about those moments, not when, oh, my kids are so beautiful, I love them so much. I want to talk about the moments where you love your children, but I don't like you right now. Talk about the patience you have to have.
Oh, man. Now, once they start like talking and they can think for themselves, like it's amazing. I try to like, I think my gift and my curse is I find the bright side of everything. And I think it's amazing that they can think properly and they don't have like any brain problem, especially like with them being premature. They don't really have like the normal tribulations of like a premature baby. They can think cognitively, and they can think for themselves, and they all have their personality. So in that, like me and my wife, we talk about like, okay, like what can we do about it? I was like, we can do something, but there's a line to it, because it's not like we forced them to be this way. They kind of grew into the person. They're growing into the person that they are, and they're all different. So it's
just a lot of the viewers watching right now don't know what you mean by they're all
different. Oh yeah.
You got to explain how many are there at one time.
There are. I have triplets. Hey. I have triplets. Yes, they're 9 years old, all girls, and it was hard. It was hard. I think I'm more of the cruise control stage right now. It's not easy, but I think this is more of the easier stage. It gets hard, but I think whatever's in the future, I think I got to prepare for, because once they start like maybe getting into teenage years, man, it's gonna be all different. But yeah, that's the thing.
I want to stay here real quick. I want to talk to you about this. Yeah, you said once we get into the future, for those, you're our first guest to have triplets. Mm-hmm. So this what we like to call an audible question. Yeah. We're just going off the cuff.
I know about those. Yeah.
Let's go into high school. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants a car. What are we gonna do about this?
Man.
Prom. Everybody wants a dress.
Everybody wants a dress.
Same time. What are we doing?
I gotta do it, man. Whatever they want. I mean, but
you know how to do this. Why are you not doing it?
Yeah. Exactly. Man, when it gets to that point, man, if they're going to the same school, man, they might have to carpool it, or in today's environment, if I want to get them into investing. I want to get them to know about like whatever crypto is, because it's actually children that are doing it. Like I just read about some children in India. They're making like $30,000 a month, and they're like 7 and like, no, they're like what, 9 and 13 or something like that. So it's child's play. So I would like to like turn it. Now that's going to be the hard part, trying to get them focused on something that's not like what they want to do. Like just try to get them focused on something else. But that would be ideal to get them to thinking about that, because they want stuff. And if it would behoove them if they knew like how easy it is to access like money these days. Like
Absolutely. I will agree to that. If you can call out talents for each one that you see right in your eye, what would each talent be?
With the oldest, which is Kai, she's naturally funny. She's naturally funny, and I'm trying to push her into that. Like, of course, they say like, what do you want to be when you grow up? They say the cliche stuff. I want to be a doctor, which I'm not turning you off to that. Yeah. But just explaining that, hey, it's a big world out there, and like this is how. Yeah. And like you naturally a funny person, so like just kind of, and she loves jokes. She loves jokes. Yeah, she really loves jokes. Like I just like she just hit me yesterday, say, "Hey, Daddy, knock knock." Like, who's there? She was like, "These." I was like, "Hey, hold on, wait a minute." I said, wait a second. I was like, "No, you can't." I said, "You can't do that one." And she was like, "Why not?" I was like, "Just don't do that one. Like, just don't do that one. Like, you can look at these kiddie jokes or whatever." And let's see, Chloe, she's the more vocal, like more stubborn. But yeah. And she actually she weirdly has like good ideas, and it's weird, like because she was saying like like it was flying the house, and she was like, "Hey, Daddy," she was like, "What about a drone?" She's like, "Is there a drone that can like kill insects?" And I was like, well, you know what? I never, and I was kind of looking for it, and I didn't see it on there. And
now, this is his idea. You're not gonna steal this.
Yeah, she just thinks about it. She just has ideas like that, and she just thought about something else like recently. I can't remember what it was, but I thought I thought she seen it on the internet or something like that. That's just why I looked for it. No, she just thought about it, like, because it was a fly in the house, and I had the spray, and she was like, "Daddy, what about a drone that can kill insects?" And it just kind of came to her like
I
this.
saw one, and that was in Blank Man.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, that's right. That's a fact. Yeah, that's the only one. And Carson, she's really unique. She has but the thing about her is you got to make things worth her while. Like, if it doesn't benefit her, she's not gonna do it. If it does, like, she's all on it. Like, she was the first to walk, talk. She figures out stuff, like, say, okay, I need to get to this point to do this. She's gonna figure it out. Like, it's so like she's like really witty. Like, she has a response for everything, like right off the back. Like, we'll say something, and it could be like she'll be in trouble. She'll be like, "Oh, it's because I was doing this," and we're like, "Oh man, like, no, we see you over." Yeah. She's right. Yeah, and she's quick. Like, she's really like, it's a direct response. Like, I can't do it. Like, it just comes off. It'll be a lie. I'll be like, "Man, what are you talking about? We just saw you do that," and then she'll come like with something else back right off the back of that one. So yeah, like that's her like ability. But yeah, they're all like unique, and that's in a nutshell. They can do they kind of they fight in the house, but they're really protective of each other.
So we're gonna have somebody that's gonna tell jokes, report it. Another person's gonna come up with the vision, and another person who's gonna be focused enough to build it. It's interesting enough.
Exactly. No.
You got the toe back.
Where she, if once she figures it out, like I don't think, yeah, it's like she'll be like the juggernaut. There won't be no stopping her. Once she figures it out, and like me and my wife, we see it. Like we're like, "Hey, do your schoolwork." She'll sit up there like this, and say they have 40 minutes to do the assignment. She'll sit up here like this for 30 of them. Like, all right, you can't use the iPad if you don't do it. She'll and I'd be like, "Is it right?" And she'd be like, "Yeah, everything's right."
Talk to me real quick. We can get off this subject. Last audible question. From a man's perspective, when your wife is carrying 3 children, what type of coaching are you giving her, affirmation are you giving her to make sure she feels good about herself through this series? You know, that could be a scary situation. There's a lot of stuff going on. As a man standing there, what are the type of things, since you've been through the experience, what are the type of things that you are whispering as her angel?
Man, honestly, she carried him like a champ. Like there was no like she wasn't like really, I mean, she got sick maybe a couple of times, but I mean the way like physically, like as far as physical strength, like my wife is probably the strongest woman I've ever came across, like physically in my life. The way she handled that pregnancy, I think God does everything for a reason, and I think she was made to like do that because I mean it was effortless, man. Like I mean, like I remember when she first got pregnant and we didn't know it, like she was just sleep on the couch, and I mean, yeah, she just carried it like
So when
a
they
champ.
kick, do you see all the kicks, feet and hands
I
inside?
I felt it a little bit, but you know they was really small, so yeah, I could feel them moving or whatever. But yeah, yeah, she carried them like a champ, man. And they when it was time for them to come, they just pulled them right out like one after another. Like, and who's the vocal one, like the other one two had their eyes closed. The Chloe, she was the smallest. She was looking at me like this. I was like, oh, like man, like this, yeah. Like she was like it was kind of like a mean mug, and she was like, man, she was like this big, and with her eyes was wide open, like, and she looked dead at me, and like, all right, like, like yeah, all right, it's time, yeah, it's game time, but yeah.
So here we are. We have your grandmother's teachings, you have your mother's teachings, you have your friend that gave you some good advice to go into the Air Force, you have your vision boards, you have class, you got 3 beautiful daughters, a lovely wife, a family, everything going for you. You're a mechanic. But to get all of that, what you reached today, what did you sacrifice?
I would have to say well, I didn't stay in the military. I'd have to say my military career, but in turn, it doesn't really feel like a sacrifice because it almost seems like the military culture started to die down as I got out. And because, you know, I kind of felt a certain type of way about getting out, but I felt like this is the right thing to do. And soon after, you start seeing this person get out and that person get out. Now they kind of got to change the they got to change standards to keep people in because it's a certain type of person that's got to be like everybody can't do it, and like it's honestly it takes it's nothing against you if you can't, but like just some people are made to live that type of life and some people aren't. And yeah, but now like we got more independent thinkers, and when I was coming up in the military, it's kind of like they're threatening like, all right, we're going to kick you out, and it was actual worry. You kind of feel like, you know, like the whole veteran stigma is like homeless people, so you think about like, oh, I'm not going to be homeless, and it was kind of like a brainwashing type of thing. And now you kind of think about it, it was actually my troop that kind of like got me like thinking about, he's like, man, he said, we're better than this, like we can, this isn't, I mean, this is good, like don't get me wrong, but he was like, it's so much more out there. And I was like, you know what, man, you know what, you're right, and it is. But yeah, I would say that was at the time it seemed like a sacrifice, but after I got out and I saw like the different type of relationships you can have, and it was like another world. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm thankful for that as far as the military goes. But yeah, I'm thankful for that. But
The discipline, you need the skills and understanding what a different picture of life which actually protects
yeah,
what it really costs.
exactly. Yes.
Absolutely. So let's dive a little deeper here. Like, I want to know about your lowest moment. I just don't want to know about any moment. I want to know about one of your lowest moments that you got up from. This is for the people that might be listening right now who are trying to understand how to get up from their lowest moment. How did you get up from your lowest moment?
I can honestly say that was probably like I would say I was in the military, and just us, the whole like kind of you don't, because you don't get paid much. I can actually say like the now that I'm here, the military experience, like as far as like being like debt and like how much you get paid, like I had bad credit for that for a while, like, and uh now like when I got out, like I could just like pay like whatever my debt was, I just paid it off like straight up. So, and it was just looking at like bad credit scores and not having any direction. And um I honestly say that was a low point, just looking at like what my life, well, I was looking at my life, I could see everything that was gonna happen, and I didn't like that. Like I was like, "Oh, I don't want to be that guy, and I don't want to be this guy." So I just had to kind of like venture out, and I can say that, yeah, that was a low point, like seeing like just going out there every day, working for 12 hours, and seeing seeing like this person, seeing the trajectory of my career, and I could say that was also a low point right there.
How did you get yourself back together?
Um, well, it wasn't immediate. Like it was a little bit after I got out, and I have to say, like, we're talking to my mother, man. Like she just kind of instilled, hey, like, hey, like, how is your credit? Yeah, yeah. She said, hey, like, how's your credit? Because like my mail comes to the house, and she could see, like, hey, like, what is this and what is that? It's like, okay, just go to Credit Karma, and just kind of do what they tell you to do. And after that, like, uh, I just kind of like just boosted. Well, I didn't have much debt. My After that, like, 'cause after I paid stuff off, you still got a low credit score because you don't have credit. And she just told me, like, hey, just go here and to Credit Karma and look at what your what your credit is, and just follow instructions. And like now I got good credit because of like, and it was easy too, especially like if you don't have.
Execute the discipline.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really easy. It didn't take much time. And now like people tell me like, hey man, like can I fix my credit? I say, hey man, just it's simple, man. Just go on there, and if you got debt, like, just it's keeping your well, you got to keep your balances. You got to keep your credit balance down, and that's the whole name of the game. And I didn't know that until I looked.
It's information.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether you're somebody who's surpassing information or don't know it, it's still information we all need to know to have a basic level of communication.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can honestly say like that was a pretty low point, and like uh, you would think like me finding out like and that well the me finding out I was having triplets, that kind of stung me a little, but it was short. I mean, it was just like, what am I gonna do? But
then you went to the brighter side.
yeah. It was just that, and it was. I'll never forget one of my friends. He told me, because I was worried I was just worried like, how am I gonna take care of 3 kids? I was only like a E5 in the Air Force. I was like, oh man, like, what am I gonna do? And he's like, man. He said, it's gonna work out. He said, you richer than all of us with love. And after that, I just never like worried about it again. I was like,
I was talking to a gentleman, and I was worried about where I was going myself in general. And he said, man, you got to pay attention to the upside.
Yeah.
The upside is way more important. If you keep working, there's always an upside. Work with purpose is an upside. Whether you can't see it down the road or not, there is an upside. And that kind of cured me. It took away a lot of anxiety, a lot of thoughts. And to circle back to the military, we did have a gentleman on this show who was an Army sniper, high-ranked ranger.
Wow.
And he said at the end of his career, they ran into some issues where his name was tarnished a little bit. And he didn't understand it because he followed all the orders. I think he met the president, all these great things. And he almost took his own life one day because the military had taken him to a place where he felt he wasn't needed anymore. That was all he knew.
Wow.
So with you saying that, I've never been in the military, but listening to you is telling me that they put you in a situation where you learn these skills in the military, but real life is not happening. It's kind of halted. because you're living this type of lifestyle?
Well, it's you have to have the good thing about it is you meet the best people, and they must be in place. That is a must. You got to have good people around you, and you do meet the best people. If it's bad people around you, it's
The worst people.
yeah, it is terrible. So it's usually been like a balance, and like I can honestly say, like, all right, if it's all bad people, you can come to this one person that understands, like, hey man, all these people are like really trying, so they'll give you options on how to work through it. But the relationships you get in the military are like none other. Like that's the main benefit of it. Like you meet like friends to the end. Battle, exactly. Wing, or Air Force would say wingman, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I heard Wingman all the plane movies I saw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's shake that up, man. I appreciate you giving that information. Woo, let's come back up here.
Yeah.
Let's have a little fun.
Okay.
I like to ask this question to people on my show to see how you respond. And we can go a little deeper in this question because it's going to be good for me to ask you this. Did you ever get a sex talk? Who or what gave you sex education?
Man, the streets. It's sad, man. The streets. And I know like this question's come like that. I knew the question was coming, but like I know I've heard like different guests say something like Playboy. Like, nah, this wasn't no Playboy I was looking at. I was like, oh man, like what is that? Like it was, you just find like books on the ground and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just different. Yeah, different kids telling you different stuff, and like
why do you hear me ask this question all the time. Why do you think we stray away from educating our people on one of the most important things that feels great, but sometimes it can lead to devastation?
I don't know the extent of my mother telling me about sex. Is anybody touching your TT? That's all she would say. And I don't know, man. Like, yeah, but as far as like everything else, it was the neighborhood. Like, hey, this dude over here, he's got this book or whatever, and yeah, man, it's too much going on for
we even get pet names.
Yeah.
TT.
Yeah, TT. Yeah. TT. Yeah.
Nah, all these things.
Yeah.
And we don't even call it what it really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So I have to ask you, when do you think you're gonna have that talk? 3 times.
Man.
3 times.
Yeah.
3 different personalities.
It's coming up because being that I have girls, like they're gonna start a cycle soon.
Yeah.
And I know my wife's got to be there for that. That
nurturing.
But like, and then like we're gonna have to talk about like why it's happening to them. So it's coming soon. So like,
how you think you're gonna approach it, man? If you was giving advice or just give us a quick view, how you think you're gonna approach this, man?
Man, just be just realistic and not don't be not savagely, just kind of ease into it, and I don't make it an instant conversation, kind of go over it like maybe maybe some weeks or something like that. Just don't kind of like throw it on them, like just don't kind of dump it on them at one time. Just kind of gradually go into it, like, okay, like just know that like your body's changing and why it's changing and what you're capable of, but like take steps. Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I never heard nobody say it's gonna take weeks, it's gonna take time to go over it. I've never heard anybody just like really talk about the extent of letting it take time to keep continuing. Most people like, you better not get pregnant.
No.
Not you, but I'm saying that's what happened to us.
Because it's and that's just, everybody's different. That's just me. It might change between now. I'm not gonna dump everything on them, like, but they kind of gotta know, especially like with them being women and of course like men like let's be real about it, men are hunters, and like with me having girls, they gotta understand like, hey man, like this is what's out there, and
Absolutely.
like yeah.
Absolutely.
So and because you don't want them to be like an antelope out there in the meadowlands, like getting because like it happens.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah, it happens because man,
there's
like
no balance.
yeah,
There's
especially
no balance. Absolutely.
yeah, especially if somebody's got like some game, like tell them something that they never heard before, man.
More experience, it takes you over. Absolutely. You're not prepared for more experience.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, just let them know like how the real world works, what's out there, like what's going on with their bodies. Yeah. So
I think you're not afraid of it. I think you got it.
I know. I got to.
Yeah.
It's nothing I have to have it.
You have to have it. Absolutely. Should there be a basic training program amongst men? A level of education given out outside the school system, outside of the church, outside of the Boys and Girls Club. It's about community-based teaching how to change a tie, change a tire, financial literacy, communication, sex talk, general wealth building, speaking to the elderly with intent. Do you ever think we can have something like that in our community, especially education, even on our health these days, especially with the things that are going on in terms of disease?
Yes, I think, but I think it should be more of somebody that's in your family or somebody you're close to that does.
So I have this thing where I feel in order for cultures to build it correctly, you should have a doctor close by, a lawyer close by, engineer close by, those type of things to consult with some person. Like it's okay to go to a physician and things people you don't know.
Yeah.
But people within your family somebody needs to know the law.
Yeah.
Especially if you're persecuted, somebody needs to know the law.
Yeah, exactly.
As
and
much
like,
as we have high blood sugar and all these things, somebody needs to know
health.
health.
Yeah, exactly. And like I would say like you need a person. I would say somebody who's close to you to direct you to the right person. I'll say that much because I have also a integral part of my like coming up was my my oldest he's one of my older cousins, and like looking back I can honestly see like through my mother, like whatever I was made, I didn't make the best grades in school, so I was always on punishment. But for some reason, like my cousin used to pick me up every weekend and we go play basketball, video games. And she never stopped me from doing that because I was in a house full of women. It was my mother. I grew up with my mother and my sister, but she never stopped me from like any weekend he wanted to pick me up. He was like, all right, you go with Corey. And now like I see it was a lot of young men that went with him to do like it was like maybe 5 or 6 of us that would like get together total, but me and he didn't introduce us, he kind of brought us closer like to my cousin. He's like my brother. He kind of like established that relationship. He kind of just got us together and we ride every weekend. And like looking back, it was like to keep us busy, like to keep us focused on like positive things. And like he was just a normal like blue collar dude. He didn't have like too much time on his hands. He just got like Friday and Saturday off, and he chose it to spend like with his cousin. And that kind of that really like shaped. That really shaped like not just me and like my bro, like I call him my bro now because we're more than cousins now because we've been around each other so long. But like a lot of young brothers, I don't know where they are now, but at that time they was just like we were just playing basketball and we wasn't into nothing malicious, and it was all because of him. And he's a stark motivator. Like man, you terrible. Hey man, you got this. Like, hey, he on you. He like, man, he tell like everything positive, man. Got a heart of gold. So but yeah, you need somebody such as that, because who knows like the type of week you had, or like I know kids go through it too. You need somebody like that to tell you like, hey man, yeah man, hey, you doing
need a gas station.
You're doing good. You're doing great. I mean, they could be, we was always hooping. Man, dude be terrible. Shooting air balls. You got this. Passing them the ball. Hey man, yeah.
That's where it stops.
Yeah.
You terrible.
No, man.
Pass the ball, play defense, man.
No, man. Corey, pick him up. Dude, I mean, like can't got 2 left feet.
You sound like something I would do, but I'd be upset. Come on, man, you can shoot the ball, man, shoot it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, but he was vital in a lot of like young men's lives around that time. So yeah, I think everybody needs like a Corey.
A real big
Yeah, a real big homie, man. Yeah.
A real big. Yeah, you talked about grades. My mother told me, I told her when I was younger that a C is passing. That's all I need to get.
Yeah, that's how I was. That's how I was.
But I was smart. I just felt like you're struggling to get this A for what? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
It's kind of immature, but now I understand what excellence is about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself represented on television or entertainment? The man you strive to be.
No, I don't actually, because I kind of think outside of protocol, like because I want to be something different. I'm not sure what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I know because my mind's all over the place. I just know I want to. I kind of want to just. I would like in all aspects. I would just like to travel and get paid to do it. Like you know what I'm saying. And like kind of like.
This. So we don't see ourselves today. Do you see yourselves in yesteryear? Anyone from the old TV shows that brought us up?
Yes, I can't say. No, I think it's something. I think it's something different. I think it's something different because so many people do different things. Like one of the guys I work with, he was trying to come over here and do what I do, but now he flips houses and now he's got like a rental outlet. Like he like rents like party material out. And like, how did he get that idea? It's so much, it's so much, it's so many more things. Like, cause he was like, really, he's like, hey man, like, can I get it? I was like, yeah, man, like, I'll throw your resume over here. And I look up, he over here, like, he's going through an abandoned house. He got him and his wife, and he's doing really good. And my battle bro, like, or wingman, like we came in together. He is doing extremely well. He has his own realty, and like I said, like the military isn't for everybody. He was one of those guys. Because like he could take orders, but he could not bite his tongue. It was almost like a reflex. He could not do. I was like, man, I told him, I was like, man, the military can't hold you. Like I'm more like you know, my mother was strict on me, so I can kind of like yeah. So it's nothing. I was like, somebody tell me to do something. But this guy, no, he could, and he made it about, I think he made it about 2 years, and man, he's heavily involved in the community and got his own. He's always trying to like extend a hand to help somebody, but the military, like people like that, the military hold them back. So but yes, he's it's so much more you can do outside of like what you see on TV. So yeah, I kind of just look at the different avenues, like whether it's investing or whether it's realty or truck driving or something. Like it's so many things you can do. Or like and some people like the good thing about over here is it's a lot of opportunities that they'll pay you a lot for, and who knows what type of jobs are open. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I want to poll, and I want to know the top 3 things you want to know. Now, there's something I always say I want to hear. If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. But I want to know the top 3 things Mr. Kevin wants to know.
I would say understanding, intelligence, and what can I say? The ability to adapt to different situations.
Ability to adapt to situations. Are you familiar with the 5 love languages?
No.
Okay, the 5 love languages are physical touch, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and words of affirmation. Of those 5, which one do you think is something that you know, recognize in yourself right now that you like?
I say quality time.
Quality time. See,
quality time.
And that's the best thing about the 5 love languages is the book. When you do a survey and you find out what your love language is, and then you communicate with your lover back and forth about what you need in order for you to thrive and be the best person you can be in a relationship, right? for your gas station.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the beauty of it is she will have or he will have one of those 5 in subcategories will lead that direction of what they subconsciously don't even know they like to keep themselves fueled. So I encourage you, and I encourage everyone, check out the 5 love languages, man. Quality time, man. You know it's quality time. If your wife is watching this, it's quality time.
Quality time, 100%.
Now, I want to ask you these few questions. Let's go back to the husband chair. Are you ready?
I'm here. I'm here.
As a husband, would you rather have a great woman or a great wife?
Definitely a great woman. Because I think the wife title is just attached, and they could be attached to anybody. So I think as far you have to be raised to be a good woman, but I think like anybody can just be like you could just say. I think the wife is just a title.
I believe that is your answer, and that's you're sticking to it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't judge people on their answers. I think your answer is amazing. Everybody answers amazing because it's best for you. Yeah. I'm glad that you shared that with us today. Mm-hmm. As a father, if you were going to an award show, would you rather have Father of the Year or Man of the Year?
I think Man of the Year. Yeah. Because I think Father would be included in Man of the Year. And there's everything included, like father, husband, son, brother. I think all that's included in the man that you are.
I like that answer. I love the answers that we get. I love the way men participate in that question. And we're going to ask that question a lot more. Now, I want to ask a question that's a little bit intrusive. Now, you don't have to answer it, but it's a 2-part question I like to ask on the show. Don't take a sip like that. If it's too much for you, let me know, and we don't have to answer it, but drop a gem as we go, okay? What was abusive to you that you thought was love?
Thought was love. I would say how could I word it? Maybe I think I'm gonna have to think about this one. I think the constant like badger on like schoolwork and telling you weren't going to be anything if you don't do this in school or whatever. Like if you don't make good grades, like you're going to be a garbage man. But turns out garbage man makes a lot of money. I think it's the preaching of you're not going to be anything if you don't do this in school. But it's bigger than that. It's bigger than like grade school. It's bigger than making good grades in grade school, because you can definitely be something if you don't think inside of the box, because some students just don't like doing the work, and they're brilliant in other areas. So I think it's, and it was, and in those days it was kind of harsh if you came home with like B's, or it was really, yeah. But and you think about it, nobody cared about what ideas you had back then. It was all about, it was school.
I think that was their construct. I think they didn't see far. So that was what was required in their generation.
Yeah.
What we were just coming out of. Because education was like the thing, even today. Yeah. Education itself is pivotal knowledge. Right?
Yeah.
But they, in that progressive moment, they probably thought that was the only way to get it.
Exactly. So now, like, if you say if you want to, there's so many more sources you can get to learn. Yeah. So if you want to learn like philosophy outside of school, or if you follow the teachings of this person or that person, you can totally be like, you can totally be somebody outside of
IT at 12
yeah,
years old and
exactly.
IT security agent for a major
Exactly,
company.
exactly. And who's to? And I look at the show. I tell anybody like who's not black. I mean, if you want to see the closest thing to the black experience, watch Blackish, because um, Junior, like who's the oldest, he's the smartest, but he chose not to go to college, and it turns out he's he's doing what he has to do, like to get by. And I think he's like an A&R or something like that, but he chose to take a break. Like instead of going to college, he wanted to figure out what he wanted to do, and they kind of like lashed out on him because he didn't want to go to college. And I was like, that's kind of that's I like that they show that there's other options, because the one daughter went to college and he chose his own direction. And I like that they show the option of like, you don't have to do this, you can choose your you can choose your own
Because in
direction.
our generation, they show college to let us know that it was available.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying if it's not within your plan and your purpose, you don't have to go.
Yeah.
In some cases, it leads to a lot of debt or missed years, which you could have put into a skilled trait
Yeah,
to start above.
exactly.
So internship and interning is just as important as any other college or anything like that. So you just got to get to where you need to be in your purpose. And I thank you for that information, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Now, I came up with something called operating at 100%. And what I mean by that is I took 5 categories: purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge. Again, that's purpose, health, confidence, money, and knowledge. 20% for your purpose, 20% for your health, 20% for your confidence, 20% for your knowledge, and 20% for your money, right? You do a weekly or a monthly total of those things and see how much of 100% you'll be operating out of. So I ask you, Mr. Woods, within the last 24 hours, how much of 100% have you been operating out of?
I would say maybe 60.
What are you missing, sir?
I'm missing health.
All 20%?
Yeah, health. I'm missing.
You out here grilling?
Man,
You out here eating?
It's the weekend for me, so
It's the weekend.
Yeah.
I get it. It's the weekend.
yeah, health, and I would say that goes along with confidence. So yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So
You know exactly right. We did speak about before when we were in the best shape of our lives, how much things came easier.
yeah, exactly.
When I watch entertainers, most of them are in the best shapes of their lives, it seems to be, and they just attract this kind of energy. Or when you're of a higher epsilon class of people, most of them really take care of themselves while reading books on the treadmill. Like fitness is a part of their calligraphy in order to have the right algorithm.
Yes, and you walk around different. You just feel like, because if you're not healthy, that leads to like inflammation. You feel it in your bones, and it just takes your overall mood away. You just feel like depressed. It all leads to it. So you just gotta get it done, just to be better, like mood wise and everything. You'd be surprised how much it plays into like the overall feel of inside
Attracted all the great things that you want to have in your life. Absolutely. So validation from your part. It's like you win a championship when you meet the right woman. Well, I ask you, Mr. Woods, do you defend the title? Are you competing with the best version of yourself? I know we just talked about the eating and the confidence, but other than that, are you making sure that you're putting pressure on your wife out here in these streets so she be like, I gotta keep up with him?
Nah, so I was, but now like I think I got a little bit more on my table. I got work to do, man. So it's I think another me is coming forward. Like but we're working together on being better together. So like that's the best way to be, because we like, especially once you realize that you've got your soulmate, and y'all can talk about stuff, you can laugh together, and y'all understand each other, and like it's all about like investing into each other's happiness. Once you understand like what makes her happy, and you can help her make herself happy, and she can do the same for you, and in turn like you make each other happy, and we we, like I said, we know we both know what we need to do, and we're gonna work together to do it and as a couple instead of individually.
Yeah, it's a blessing when you are with someone who you can't make people happy, but you can show them, hey, you can be happier if you did this.
Exactly.
But they gotta be willing to see it.
Exactly.
Really,
and I'll help whatever you need. Whatever you need, I'll give you too. But like you gotta figure out what you want to make you happy. And then like once that's figured out, man, it's a beautiful feeling, man. Like once
it's figured out, the momentum starts.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And you should, and the laughs start coming, and you just like being around each other.
I think marriage is a cycle, man. All that stuff comes around. Just gotta keep running.
Yeah,
With the momentum,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. It's hard. It's the most difficult, even more difficult than having triplets. It's the hardest. It's the hardest thing. But like once you get it and you understand, like you care about each other, and like y'all here together. There's nobody else. It's you and just y'all two against the world. And you understand that, like it's a good feeling.
Absolutely, it's a great feeling. I had a thought about how do we as married men learn a new skill every year to keep ourselves interesting for our spouses? Do we go and find out what our spouses are doing so we can have better conversations? For my wife being a baker, should I look up information on baking so I can just talk to her about the intricate things about whatever type of things they're doing in baking, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say fondant, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking those types of things up, and I just want to be able to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
Add on a new skills. Like, oh, you added this new skill? Yeah, I added this new skill. Let me tell you about it.
Yeah.
We can share it every year. This is me. Every year we should add a new skill to ourselves. Just like a basketball player in the off season comes back with a post up game.
Yeah.
Or somebody comes back with something different to add to the sauce. Every year we should be adding a new skill.
That's true. That's true. Exactly. It can only help. It can only help. Yeah. See what I do. I know what she likes as far as like I know she likes going places, and she's more elegant type, and I kind of like want to put us in a place to where like it shouldn't be hard for us to like live a certain type of way, and like let's figure this out together so we can be up here to yeah. So like we're gonna do we're gonna do this together, like whatever makes you happy. And you know, like it's not like just like we just hold my hand and we'll go, and it's not gonna be, we're gonna get to the point to where it's not a problem. So like we'll be together like wherever it is on this earth, and we'll live a certain type of way. But like whatever it is that makes you happy at the time, like we're gonna fulfill that. Like it might, sure, she might change, like whatever, it might change. Yeah. But the thing is, like it's and I think that if you're a good person, like you're good people, there's no reason for you not to live the way you want to live. You just follow, just stay prayerful, have faith, and I think everything will come to you one way or another.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. You are now part of the Silhouette Boys Club. It is people like you who move in the shadows and help people like me shine. Now, before you go, we love to get referrals for the show. Is there any man out there that you know that we love to come on this show and drop these gems and answer these questions?
The guy I just talked about, my battle buddy, Wingman, Tim Jackson.
Tim Jackson.
He's out of Dallas, Texas, and he's got a lot to say, and he's really like active in the community, like as far as like young Black men, and even like just putting you on to like I'm procrastinating on that because I just asked him about, hey man, like I need to get some life insurance, and he plugged me with a dude, bam, and I didn't hit the dude back, so I gotta get with him. But yeah, he knows all the ins and outs of like.
Lucky, that's one of my questions. Life insurance is one of my questions, but I didn't ask you that one this time. I got the vibe.
Yeah. So
next
yeah.
time I see you, you better make that.
Yeah, I got to, man, because
you got 3 reasons why.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but but I got the contacts are there. Like I got friends that do it, and even one of my friends, he said you can make money off of it's a way you can flip like life insurance. It's a way you can make money off of it. So it's definitely something I need to hear about.
You know how to do it, so why not you do it?
Exactly. You know what to do. Why aren't you doing it?
You know what to do. Why not you doing it?
Yeah.
Now, before we go, is there any shout outs you like to give family, anything for people to support you, any kind of way, anything you want to say?
My wife and my mother, and of course my children. Yeah, definitely. Kai, Chloe, and Carson, and Kristen Woods, Mamie Smith. Yes, those that's the foundation. I mean, that's the foundation of me and what I live for, and they keep me going. They're my engine. They're the oil to my engine.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that. For those listening, you can reach me at Sheen1. You can reach me at info@sheen1.com or Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram. If you see me in the street, let's talk about it. Let's have a good time. Before we go, we leave with a quote from Dr. Miles Monroe. True success is not measured by how much you have done or accomplished. It is not compared to what others have done or accomplished. True success is what you have done compared to what you could have done. In other words, living to the maximum is competing with yourself. It's living up to your own true standards and capabilities. Success is satisfying your own personal passion and purpose in pursuit of personal excellence. So question of the day, question of your life. Are you maximizing your life? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Woods, I thank you. This has been SOULutions for Men podcast. Peace and blessings.
Peace.
Cause I'm out the ordinary.